Okay, sorry for that, guys. So, security-related forms, health-related forms, requirements that have to be submitted, ENS, the entry declarations, and of course the FAL, the 7 different FAL forms. Now, these leads to a so-called common reporting schema that has all the necessary structures and identifies the different fields that and the different information that has to be filled in, both in terms of people, in terms of cargo, in terms of ship itself, and of course in terms of voyage. What, for example, the ship X has been and where it heads to, what sort of cargo is there, who is on board the ship, or who is gonna be on board, or who is gonna leave the ship, and so on and so forth. Of course, another thing with this directive is that the European Commission mandated that the member states should adopt a single window, should develop, of course, and implement and adopt this single window, the latest being the June 1st deadline. Unfortunately, we sort of broke this deadline and we are moving on the next deadline that is set. However, I think that this sort of process is towards the correct way. It's gonna be achieved soon. And of course, the last thing that I forgot, excuse me for that, is that this directive actually prohibits reporting on paper. So all paper-based interactions will be prohibited on an EU level. So it's like a very strict regulation there. But I think that we are moving towards this objective. Now, the state of play in the maritime single windows. The World Customs Organization has commissioned a survey for the single window implementation in 2011 and acknowledges and has seen through the 5 different types of cargo clearance systems that are currently in operation. The first one is the integrated single window, where individual data elements are submitted once to a single entry point and fulfills with this way all import, export, and transit related regulatory requirements. And in a sense, this enables multiple procedures to be performed from a single submission, and the relevant information is fused throughout the different systems. Then it's the interfaced single window, where individual data elements are submitted once to a single entry point, but each regulatory agency maintains its own automated system and connects with other systems through custom built interfaces. So in some cases, it's the same information is replicated between the 2 different systems, or you have to submit electronically the same information again and again, but it's at the end of the day it's done electronically. There is a hybrid single window solution, which is a combination of the integrated and the interface approach. It's the one-stop shop service where stakeholders are required to implement each procedure declaration separately. So in each and every different agency, you have to resubmit everything from scratch. And of course, it's the age-old standalone systems for customs clearance, where you have to go there either electronically or physically. You have to go to the customs office and declare the entry summaries or whatever needs to be declared. So you have quite many different approaches here. Some insights from this survey: 66% of the survey respondents use a non-single window system, which actually duplicates efforts and decreases compliance costs. 45% of the respondents operate a standalone system, minimizing though the possibility of interagency communication data fusion. And the majority of customs administrations have harmonized single window data with internationally recognized standards. And to this context, the WCO data model and the ADFACT were the ones that were widely adopted by the different agencies. Now you can see here that most of the agencies, even today, are using, sort of speaking, quite old legacy systems, and really need an upgrade on the systems that they are using. Now, what the AMR now did, EMR undertook a comprehensive analysis of the different single window systems that are in use, and some insights from the usage of maritime single windows in different European countries include that, first of all, some kind of maritime IT system simply exists practically in every EU country. So one way or the other, most of the countries have an element or a system, an IT system that can be used as a basis to further upgrade these maritime single windows. All countries have established the EU mandated safe SeaNet system, and this system is the core element of the maritime single window. So these, along with the previous bases that we discussed, this can be used as a core element into developing the national maritime single windows. And most of the EU countries have developed and have implemented the safe SeaNet system. However, they try to tailor it to the specific country needs and interests. Of course, in this case, the most difficult thing is going to be the specific rules, the business rules that the different countries have adopted. Now, most of the ports, we did a survey of the different ports. Most of the ports surveyed indicated that they have developed a port community system, and they use this system in their daily operations. The system acts as a single window to a certain extent, and these systems are actually bespoke and parameterized to the business models and the specific rules of each port. And this is what I said before. That's actually the main problem. No matter if you are using the EDIFACT or the WCO data model or whatever, at the end of the day, if you have very, very specific business rules that you have developed, this will delay the upgrading process, and this will delay the adoption of new systems there, and also this will be a delay even at the European level. So that's the tricky thing. Try to pass from the bespoke and parameterized system to a business model that is EU-wide used. And of course, to go back a little bit to the presentation that and the discussion that we had last week, these business models, these business rules, it's actually the cultural thing that needs to be changed primarily instead of the rule itself. I mean, at the end of the day, most of the rules, or at least the common denominator, is pretty much the same all around competent authorities and users and countries and so on and so forth. The extra information that is required may be the case that it's not actually that strong as initially anticipated. So it's the culture thing that needs to be changed. Now, based on this analysis and on feedback from open-ended questions that went unreported in this presentation, there is no significant difference between public and private ports actually. So no matter if the port was public or private, they were having a similar approach into developing IT systems to help them with their daily operations. And the difference among the systems used is primarily related to the services offered to the end users and to the port community in general. And that's another issue. Out there, there are a lot of different services that are offered, and the idea is to try to transform all the formalities and the reporting requirements in a vast array of different services, not only in terms of cargoes or whatever, but also in terms of practices. And again, this goes back to what I said before. it's a cultural thing that needs primarily to be changed. Now, here in this table, we can see the different ports that were interviewed. So we can see that most of them use a port single window or a port community system, and some of them have developed national single windows too, or cargo community systems. For example, Dunkerque has a cargo community system. And then again, through this sort of analysis, this study, this interview-based study, we understood that all of the ports use an IT system these days. The whole idea now is to try to transform them into modern maritime single windows and try to fuse the information to all the relevant authorities and, of course, to all the different ports that require this sort of information. Now, of course, another thing that goes between the lines in this one is that the market needs actually lead the way. And at the end of the day, these systems, the port single windows or the port community systems and so on and so forth, are actually market-led instead of government-led. At the end of the day, it's the business needs, the needs of the markets that need this be changed and not the governments. The governments could go as is, mainly due to the inertia of the system, go as is for quite many more decades. Now, should we have a break, a 10-minute break, and return to continue? Okay, let's have a 10-minute break and we will be back. Okay, let's continue. Now, let's go on and continue for discussing the maritime single window. So the maritime single window pillars are fourfold. First is the facilitation of business compliance. Sorry guys, it popped me out.